All right, so it's been a few years since we talked about the Current banking platform, and they've actually added some new features recently that I am a huge fan of. So let's take a refresh look at the different products that Current now offers and why I think if you're looking for a comprehensive, to-the-point banking solution that you can manage from your smartphone, then there is no better option than Current. Before we go any further, I do want to let you know that Current is sponsoring today's video, which means they do get to see this video before it goes live, but if you're watching this, then that means that they were okay with any praise and criticism that I have for this platform, since I will always be 100% honest about the products that we talk about. I've also personally been a Current user for several years at this point, and I've talked about it many times before in unsponsored videos. So if at any point in this video you do want to help support this free content, then check out that first link down in the description. But with all of that out of the way, let's start with the Current spend account. You can think of the spend account like your typical checking accounts with a few unique twists. You, of course, have no monthly fees or minimum balance requirements, access to over 40,000 fee-free ATMs. You can even get paid up to 2 days early and access fee-free overdraft coverage with direct deposit. And of course, you're able to track all of your transactions in real time and access their integrated budgeting tools and spending insights through the well-designed Current app, which we'll talk more about in a second. But the big twist with this spend account comes from the Current build card, which we'll be making an entirely separate video on. But the build card is essentially a secured credit card that helps you build your credit history when you pay your monthly bill on time. And by enabling the optional autopay feature, you can build your credits while eliminating the risk of debt because you're building credit using your money instead of the bank's money. Again, we'll talk about it more in depth in another upcoming video, but at a high level, let's say you spend $50 on your build card. Well, Current is going to immediately take that money out of your spend account and set it aside into reserved funds. And at the end of the month, when it comes time to pay off the balance on that card, those reserved funds, which have already been set aside, are used to pay off the card balance in full. And Current reports that as an on-time payment, which can therefore help build your credit score. Plus, the build card also lets you earn points on qualifying transactions that you can redeem for cash back right through the Current app. They even have dedicated teen banking features, which aren't going to earn points, but do give parents the flexibility to block specific merchants, assign chores, and easily transfer money to your teen's Current accounts if you need that feature. All right, so that's the spend account, but on the savings side of things, we've got another one of my favorite features, which is the Current Savings Pods, where you can earn up to a 4% bonus on your savings when using the Boost feature with direct deposit set up. Now, before you get too excited, the bummer with this feature is that the 4% bonus is capped at $2,000 per savings pods, or $6,000 total, since you're able to create up to 3 separate pods. So if you have less than $6,000 in your savings, then no worries, but if you keep significantly more in your savings, then you may want to keep that excess cash elsewhere. That being said, with interest rates falling over the past few months, a 4% bonus is on the higher end of savings rates, at least at the time of recording this video, making this a pretty compelling option, not to mention the other benefits of using the savings pods, like the automated roundup feature that can help automate your savings, and the fact that, in my experience at least, setting up your savings pods for different financial goals can help you reach those financial goals even faster. I personally love savings pods. I use this in my everyday life, and it's basically a modern day version of the envelope method that a lot of people used to use for budgeting. All right, so all of that is great, but like I said earlier, Current has added some new features recently, most notably their new Paycheck Advance that can make any day payday. Similar to the build card, we will be making a dedicated video just on this new tool, but if you qualify, Paycheck Advance allows you to access up to $750 of your paycheck before it actually hits your accounts. And before you start typing away in the comments saying that this sounds a lot like a horrible payday lending service, rest assured that these are not the same thing at all, and I would never recommend a horrible financial product like a payday lender. Current's Paycheck Advance has no interest, no credit check, and if you just want to get your advance in 3 days to help tie you over, then this feature is completely free. I definitely have a lot of thoughts on who this feature is best for, since it definitely is not for everyone, so be sure to subscribe to see our full review on the build card and this new Paycheck Advance feature when those videos come out. But the last thing I want to talk about is, of course, the Current app, and this is really where Current sets itself apart from the seemingly hundreds of financial technology platforms that we can all choose from. There are plenty of platforms out there that have good features and a decent desktop UI, but the app oftentimes feels like an afterthought. On the flip side of that coin, you've got platforms that simply pack way too much stuff on a tiny smartphone screen, leading to a cluttered experience with a long learning curve. And as someone who has reviewed quite literally hundreds of these apps over the years, I genuinely think that Current does the best job of walking that fine line by giving you access to the features that you need right from your smartphone without delivering an overly cluttered user experience. I set up this new account just for demo purposes, but you can see at the bottom of the screen here that you've got a few self-explanatory tabs where you can access all of those core features that we talked about today, easily transfer funds in a number of different ways, access your spending insights and create a budget, and of course, manage all of your account settings. And if you're like me and you've used a lot of these apps, then you can probably already see what I was talking about, that everything is very simply laid out, and this app is definitely packed with a lot of features, but it doesn't feel nearly as cluttered as similar tools. And while you will occasionally see banner ads for different products and features, which is always a pet peeve of mine, it's not nearly as in your face as other platforms get when cross-promoting you to other tools that you probably don't need. I'm spending so much time on the app because, as you may know, this is it. There isn't a desktop login for Current, which I realize for some users may be a complete deal breaker, but like I said at the start of this video, if you want a comprehensive yet to-the-point banking solution where everything can be handled right from your smartphone, then I have yet to find a better option than Current. So again, if you want to learn more and sign up, then that'll be the first link down in the description, but I'd love to know down in the comments as well what you think of Current and any favorite features you have or ones that you'd like to see them add in the future. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.